Tell him.
Where is he now?
I tracked him down to an address in Brooklyn. He's on LinkedIn, Lemon. He might as well be.
I left LA today. I'm on another plane. I spent too much time on the dark side of your door.
Okay, Rob Green here from the GRM Group. Back from my little trip around the world, family holiday to the UK, to France and to Morocco. But Morocco was actually to host the Leaders in Law event in Casablanca, the first one we've ever taken to North Africa. Huge success. Absolutely delighted to extend our network and our services and our events to the North African legal community. Once again, the big focus was on the people involved and the people that make the industry, strategies, concerns, hurdles to get over as the legal markets in that growing market continue to grow, what things are going to face in the future, not just from AI, but also from new companies moving into the markets and things like that. So very, very good. But as soon as I got back, inundated with emails. Obviously, those who are listening to this that know us typically know that we work mainly on the senior end of the legal community, but I do like to help those the junior end. And September is the month where not only are we releasing our South African legal remuneration report later this week or early next, which is the biggest we've ever done. We've broken it into many, many different chapters and industries and sectors and cities for the South African market, but also it's the month where typically those that are not going to be kept on after articles find out. And I've had a couple of emails from people with that in mind. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of things from a presentation that we gave to a university, law school in South Africa this year, with statistics that we gathered from the internet, gathered from our sources, and with the help of our team at Nabi Intel. And it's worth highlighting, so I'm going to put the graphics on the page. But this is something that's really important to anybody at the junior end. I'm going to apologize now for bringing in Weber Wenzel into this fantastic law firm. And because they're the biggest and one of the best, their stats are fully available online. So it's worth just apologizing. I'm not picking on them. We work with them. They're a fantastic firm. But this is really just a highlight. And if you can then extrapolate out from Weber's, who are one of the biggest and the best, and look at every single other firm, then you're going to have a similar pattern. So these are some of the stats that are worth knowing. According to the Law Society and the LPC in South Africa, there are somewhere between 5,000 and 5,500 students graduating from an educational facility with a legal qualification every year. Okay, I know I've been very specific with my words there. It's not necessarily an LLB or an LLM, but the number you've got to focus on 5,000 to 5,500 every year. CA positions in South Africa then continue to get more and more competitive. Depending on the economy and depending on the year and depending on what's needed, each year there's somewhere between about 1,000 and 2,500 positions. So even at its best, there's only one position for every 2 students. And at its worst, it's 1 in 5. Typically more than 1 in 5 as the years go on. Now, if we take Weber Wenzel, for instance, I caveat this, fantastic firm, great client. They had, in January of this year, according to the internet, they had 56 candidate attorney positions. Now, the statistics that you can pull out from that, if you look at the past results, using our research team and using the data available to us online, would state that approximately 33 of them, of the 56, would be likely to still be employed by the firm at the end of their 2-year training program. So this calculation is also based on industry retention rates and the stats available online about Weber's in particular. 33 out of 56 suggests that there's an 80% retention rate after the first year, 74% retention rate after the second year, whittling it down to almost, somewhere not far off a 50% retention rate, 50 to 60% retention rate at the end of the 2 years. That's very concerning. It's very concerning for the individuals because not only is there more students than positions, it's very, very hard to get articles. And then those that get in are not all being kept on. Again, it's going back down to a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm not here to discuss the reasons why that is. I just want the younger law students and those looking to enter the legal profession to be aware of this, that it is really, really tough out there. And it's tough every year, and it gets tougher because those 5,500 double every year. Well, not double, but you know what I mean. It compounds every year. So what is going to happen? And then, of course, then you've got the threat of AI coming on board as well. You've got the threat of AI. You've got the threat of junior roles being wrapped up into the AI process. We're in a settling down period. We're in a confusing period where law is really getting to grips with how artificial intelligence is going to remove the need for a human to do the things that are repetitive. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for law firms to reshape their financial models, reshape the way that they pay people, and be more creative with the law. And I'm sure many, many firms, including Webber Wentzel, who have their fusion department, are doing so and leading the way in that, and that will become bigger and better. But we are in a changing time, and it's worth students knowing this, because this is happening not just in South Africa, this is happening all over the world. What are the solutions? Well, the solutions are do the degree, smash it out of the park, work really, really hard, have some fun at university as well, but get your degree. All right, but then go into the workplace and realism that you might not be a lawyer going through the practice cycle, the 2-year cycle in practice and then coming out. I think the law firms and the in-house counsel should be putting on, and the industry itself should be putting pressure on the LPC and the Law Society to do what they've been doing in the UK, Australia, and I think parts of Europe, where you can do your articles in a company. So you can get your articles with BMW or someone like that. I think that is exactly what should happen here. It opens up the door for many more opportunities for the students. And also the law schools themselves have to take this into consideration. These numbers are hideous, okay? And we know that the law schools and the universities are a business and they need as many people to come in as possible. But they're not teaching the kids about AI and the threat of AI to the traditional legal career. The legal career is changing. It won't be the same next year as it was this year, and it won't be the same in 5 years' time. So there is a real need for those in charge, the law schools and the LPC Law Society, to take proactive steps to improving the number of opportunities available. And also then the law firms themselves. You've got to remember, you are I don't even know what the word is. You are the bastions of this industry. I don't think that's the right word I was looking for, but you are here to look after the industry. You've reached the top. You've done your hard yards, and you need to pass down a healthy environment, a healthy career platform for the youngsters. I truly believe that is our responsibility as we get older, to create opportunities and pass over the keys eventually to those with an industry in a healthy position. Enough of the thinking short term and start thinking longer term about the skills that are being brought in. And my final note to students who've watched this and read this is don't be worried. Really don't be worried. There's many, many threats. I've heard it. I'm now old enough to know I've heard every threat I've heard it all. I've heard, how Netherlands would be underwater by the year 2000 and it still isn't. I've heard how pandemics would kill off humanity. I've heard how AI is now going to take all our jobs. But I've heard everything from the 80s, 2000s, 2010s. There is always these threats and these pressures. My answer to that is get off social media. Do not watch social media and start being proactive with your days. Start doing some work. Start getting to grips with the workplace and get out there and have some fun as well. So these numbers are worth discussing because it's worth this point at time. Check out our Substack, globallegalmarket.substack. We're going to be releasing our South African legal salary survey on there as soon as it comes back to me from the design team. I've seen the first few pages. It looks amazing. It's the biggest and best yet. I think we're at a crossroads. We'll talk about that on another podcast, another release, because I think we're at a crossroads for the salaries available. I think it's going to go through a very dark time before coming back again. So this might be the last year we're talking these big numbers. In the universities, think about these numbers. Think about the fact that your law degree is very useful, but for other industries as well, you don't just have to be a lawyer.